just starting a little project for a family member, and this is a Midnight Pumpkin I brought pre-built. I'm going to have to do some work to it. It's got to be repainted because it's going to be pink because it's for a girl. I don't think I've done too bad. It's 110. But the reason I brought it is because it says used, but for all I can tell it looks just about brand new. So that's why I took a chance. The only downside, the imbecile who packed it didn't take the shell posts off and broke every single one. So I've got some upgraded ones on order already for that, and I'm putting in the radio from the FTX Fury, though there's been a problem there, but I'm not going into that. And I'm going to add a light unit, and I'm going to have to make a little interior to fit a figure. Just got to see where I can mount onto. I'll probably mount onto here and then find somewhere else. But I'm going to give it a strip down and a once over today. But it's, like I said, it's even got bearings and shielded ones like that. Now I've gone and done a bit more work with the to be Barbie pumpkin. I've been once over it, and the electrics are all sorted. I've swapped a few screws round, bits and bobs, which were incorrect for better ones, well, more matching towards Tamiya, because it was a right mismatch, and the alloy body posts arrived, so I'm pleased with that. So now I can start work on the body, which is the next stage, and probably one of the most scariest things I'm going to try and do. I've got to take it really slowly, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the window out. So I'm going to mask off a level with tape and then mark it round and then go from there. And we'll see how we get on, and fingers crossed we don't break the glass. Now I cut the window down and it's gone quite well. So it's got like an open window. I know it's curved there, so before anyone says it. But to grind that away where there's a slight crack there, I'm not going any further. But it will not show at all. Now I've took off the roll bar, as that's in the way at the moment for what we're starting on the interior. Now what I'm going to do is, let's put these screws back in, is I'm going to mount a plate here to start with. You can see, just about see. So if I can get it to fit in that area, I'll be really pleased. Oh, camera's making funny noises, but and then what I'm going to do is make an angled bit of plastic off here, hopefully, because that does nothing. But it will be like a place, sort of a strip, to screw onto the bed, so it'll be removable. Because if I take it through here, I'm going to have to make captive screws in the seats. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So the next time you see it, hopefully I'll have this plate all made up and fitted. There we go, we made progress. I've made the backing bit where the seat will be mounted onto. And like I said, there's a piece of plastic now bolted with two not ugly screws to the top, and then there's some supports there which they're still curing. Once they're dry, that will give a lot more strength where the plastic won't break away in a rollover. Here's the Barbie figure, and hopefully she will sit in, if I get this in camera, something like that. So I've got to work a bit on the seat. Thing is, it's not very articulated, and he'll be getting the hair to sit down. So we might have to find a way of securing it in tighter so she don't sit so far forwards, if that makes any sense. But we'll think of something. But I am now looking at what to build next inside, because this bit of plastic, quite surprisingly, is the size of the base you require. So I've got to think about it. Now I'm just doing a test fit to make sure it fits over everything inside good enough. There's still more to be done, but what I've done is I've put a floor in and some side bits, a brace across the top and here, so I'm going to put a piece of plastic probably completely across the front now, and then I'll have to, whatever her legs are, I will reduce her to fit if they need to be, but maybe not. Like I said, we're still working it out. But like I said, I made a bit of progress. Now I've roughed the dashboard in, and that's how it's going to be. I've just got to make the steering wheel part and all that next, and start work on the seats. You know, it is trial and error, all this. If anything, a bit more error. But no, it's the way I've done it is, I don't know if I can get this on camera. It's one of those. Oh, there it is. Can you see that? All I've done is I've tacked it with some plastic weld, and then I run a bead of hot glue behind, and that will hold it in nicely. That's all it needs for support. But it's tested, it fits up tight, and I think it won't need any more inside to hold it in that, because I think what's underneath in the truck just slightly pushes on it anyway. So let's get the chassis up. Oh. I'm wondering why it's not going down at the back. It's because I moved. The trouble could be the aerial. Let's put that back in correct. Right. I'm catching on something, and I've just got to work out. I think I know what it is. I think what it's catching on is my supports. So that's the feeling I've got. So I'll take it out, I'll file some curved bits into these pieces and see how it goes. Now I'm working on with the seats now, and this is the seat base, and all it is a couple of scraps I had because I'm very low on balsa wood, and a couple of strips on the back, another strip, and sanded off at the corners, and now I'm marking it up. And what I'm using is a strip of plastic as a spacer to set the ruler and mark it carefully with the pen. You have to be careful going down the grain. It is a bit harder, but I'm going to try and make them a little bit heavier, the lines, with a file in a minute. And this is the back, which has got to be done the same. So this all lines up and glues on, and that will be the seat. Once all painted up, it'll look really good. But it is just some scraps of balsa, that's all I use. So here's the completed bench seat. Like I said, the grooves have been increased, and I will now prime it and see what it looks like. But that'll fit in like that, and that should all hopefully fit inside without issue. I might put a couple of thin strips of plastic on the back just to bring it forwards a little bit. Yeah, that will make it fit a lot better. Just a couple of strips of this glued on quick. I've cleaned the body shell off, and now I've got to remove all the bits they didn't remove, whoever built this. Not bad in some places, poor in another. Now I'm going to sort of block it all back and get it into grey primer. I red oxide this yesterday, but we'll go back to that, as if we do get a break in the weather I'll be able to shoot the gloss hopefully in the near future. Now while I'm waiting for other things to dry with primer, I've fitted a spare small axial steering wheel, and it turns out to be a perfect fit, so I'm really pleased with that. So just got the rest of the dashboard to make now. I've got that in, but we know the figure fits. Now with the good weather, I've got the rear panel painted, well actually the whole body. I've got it back together in its wonderful pink, but I've blacked the rear bed as best as possible because it's really hard to mask up nicely. I've now got to let it cure till tomorrow. Yeah, I've now got to let it cure till tomorrow and proceed from there. It's next sort of doing the door handles around the windows and almost getting it together. Like I said, I've put some really heavy ribbon on the seat, so it makes it stand out a bit better. I've still got to spray up the back of the glass in a minute to turn that piece there pink. That'll be very quick. Now I'm making progress with the pumpkin. I've just done around the windows with black marker pen. I find it more controllable with a bit of tape, and it has a tendency to bleed less, and if you catch it, it's easy to touch up in the future. So finally the glass, which is, like I said, got the pink piece at the back, can go back in. Today I've ordered the decals, 3 of them, hopefully make it more Barbie-ish. Which will be good. They weren't too expensive. I think a pair I paid £2 something for them, and the other single one for the rear panel I paid about £1.50, so it's not a lot of money, so it's pretty good. So there we go, the glass is back in, and you can see the pink bit does make a difference here. Now the rear panel I'm working on, that's there. What I do is I paint silver on the lights, and then I go with clear red, and that's the effect I go for, to make it look more like light, sort of a reflector behind the red plastic of the light. So also I've glued in the bench seat, and like I said, it's black and pink contrast all the way. Now that's what I'm going for, sort of black to pink. They go together quite well, hence the black rear bed. Now I've stuck some gauges onto the dashboard, and I made the bezel part in pink, well, sprayed it pink. and I'll just show you what it will roughly look like. It will go on like that, like so, nice and simple. And in the parts that come with the little dolly was a dog and his bag, so I've glued him in, and a mobile phone. I trimmed the clip off the back and glued it like it's hung on the dashboard, so it'll be sort of behind the steering wheel. So there we go, the interior is all finished. I'm just going to fit it, and the last thing you will see is the truck with the decals fitted. But I'll just do photos of that because, like I said, I've got to wait for those to arrive.